church music early church period is vocal only siya. Wala siyang instrument. And then, ang nature po niya ay monophonic. Okay, ano po ulit ang monophonic, mga kapatid? Ibig sabihin, meron lamang po siyang single melodic line. And then, unison congregational singing ang isa sa mga nature ng apostolic era, and it closely tied to the biblical text. So that is the apostolic era. And then, after the apostolic era, diniscuss naman ho natin ang medieval period, which marks the formal organization of church music, where worship music became yung term na ginamit natin na standardized. Ayan, written and preserved. Dito sa medieval period, ano po yung pinaka sikat pagdating sa medieval period? Yun pong tinatawag nating Gregorian chant. Okay? Na hindi na lang ho siya kinakanta, na isulat na rin ho siya. Yun po ang medieval period. And then the next one is the Renaissance period, which the Renaissance period brought musical beauty, yan,
Huh?
balance, and expressive
I did
harmony.
already.
Meron
Okay,
ho tayong, meron ho tayong example.
Excuse me, pass. Na-mute ko po kayo, pasensya.
Ayan. Okay lang po, Pas. Okay, sige, let's continue po. Dito naman po sa Renaissance period, the Renaissance period brought musical beauty. Ano yung sabi ko kanina? Balance. Ayan, balance and expressive harmony while remaining deeply rooted in worship. So makikita natin dito, mga kapatid, yung development, yung changes ng church music, na bago siya naging, alam mo yun, kung i-compare ho natin yung itsura ng music noon sa itsura ng music natin ngayon, dito po sa subject na ito, mapag-aaralan natin kung ano ba yung proseso, ano yung mga changes, at bakit nagkaroon ng mga ganitong changes. Okay po, so let's go to the next era, which is the Baroque church music in the Baroque period, 1600s to 1750. Okay, so let's go. The Baroque period was marked by dramatic changes in both sacred and secular music. It was an age of intense religious fervor, artistic expression, and the birth of new musical forms. So from that sentences, makikita ho natin na talagang makikita natin yung dramatic changes or yung napakalaking pagbabago ng musika magmula ho sa apostolic era. Church music saw the introduction of operatic elements. So may mga opera na dito, mga kapatid. Increased ornamentation and the rise of instrumental music as an essential part of the liturgy. The period also saw the height of the Catholic Counter-Reformation. Mamaya, malalaman ho natin ano ba yung Catholic Counter-Reformation na yan, which played a major role in shaping church music. Okay, so number one, we have here the emergence of the oratorio and sacred opera. Kapag sinabi mo nating oratorio, mga kapatid, it was like opera, okay, but was typically based on biblical stories or religious themes and performed without staging or costumes. Ang oratorio po combined choral and solo vocal music with instrumental accompaniment and often included a narrative style of singing. Say for example, the Passion or Resurrection stories ay napaka-popular na subject sa oratorios, mga kapatid. We have here what we call the sacred opera, though less common than oratorio, also became an important part of church music, especially sa Italia. So yun po mga composers, mga kapatid, ay nagsimulang i-integrate ang opera-like techniques into sacred compositions. Ayan. Ano ba yung characteristics, mga kapatid? Okay. Ng oratorio and yung sacred opera. Dito po, mga kapatid, we can see here the use of recitatives and arias, often with dramatic emotional content. Ano pa po? Large choral movements. Kaya kung titignan natin ang kapag kumakanta ang mga choir sa Baroque period, talagang madami sila. Often with instrumental obligatos, creating a sense of grandeur and dramatic expression. Okay? So pwede ba nating i-comment dyan sa ating message box, dramatic expression. So meron siyang dramatic changes and also meron din siyang dramatic expression. Okay po? Sacred operas and oratorios often conveyed religious stories and themes through heightened emotion intended to engage listeners both intellectually and emotionally. I have here link, ayan, where you can screenshot, mga kapatid. This will be an example of oratorio. Ayan. Pwede nyo pong i-screenshot dyan. Yan, mga kapatid. And also, ito po. Ito naman po yung sacred opera, mga kapatid. Now, sino po dito yung mga key influencers? Yung may malaking contribution or may malaking influence dito po, mga kapatid, sa Baroque period under the emergence of the oratorio and sacred opera. First is si Claudio Monteverde. Siya po ay kilala for his operas and yung kanya po mga contributions sa sacred music, especially yun pong Vespro Delia Beata Vergine, were groundbreaking, merging the worlds of sacred and operatic music. Next is si George Philip Telemann. Si Telemans, mga kapatid, meron po siyang oratorio and sacred cantatas, though written later in the Baroque period, embodied the complex and dramatic style of sacred music. The next one will be si George Frederick Handel. Si Handel's Messiah, ibig sabihin yung title ng kanya pong famous na oratorio is what we call the Messiah, mga kapatid, blending of opera-like structures with deeply religious themes with a focus on biblical texts. So kung titingnan natin dito, mga kapatid, they are more focusing on the biblical stories, integrating and the opera-like structure of singing. Yan po, mga kapatid. Next, we have here the development of the church cantata. Ano ba tong kantata na ito? The cantata became a dominant form in church music during the Baroque period, particularly saan pong bansa? In Germany. It was composed for both liturgical use and concert performance. Kanina ho, mga kapatid, ano yung nabanggit lang? Opera. Dito, meron ng na-compose na liturgical use. Ang kantata ay ginagamit, okay, sa liturgical use and then sa concert performance, blending vocal solos, choruses, and instrumental accompaniment. So the cantata evolved from the earlier vocal forms and was often composed as part of a church service using as a prelude or as part of a sermon illustration. So wag niyo pong kakalimutan itong part na to, mga kapatid. While earlier cantatas were often brief and centered around simple chorales, Baroque cantatas became more elaborate with extensive use of orchestral accompaniment and sophisticated choral writing. So mas tumitindi na siya, mga kapatid. Kaya ang sabi natin kanina, dito sa Baroque period, meron nangyari na dramatic changes at napaka-dramatic na expression of singing, mga kapatid. And note the word extensive use of orchestral accompaniment and sophisticated choral writing. Alright? Ano naman po ang characteristics, mga kapatid, ng cantatas? A mixture of recitative arias, choruses, and instrumental movements. So makita natin dito, mga kapatid, natatanggap na nila eh. Accepted na, inaalaw na yung paggamit ng instruments. Compare sa nakalipas na discussions natin, mga kapatid, like sa medieval, hindi nila inaalaw ang instruments because they believed na ang paggamit ng instrument yung mga instrument ay may influence or pwedeng gamitin ng evil, okay, para hindi mapanatili yung pagiging sacred ng mga music. Pero kung titingnan natin dito, mga kapatid, because of the contributions and because of the influences of those people who contributed, okay, sa bawat period, makikita natin na unti-unting lumalawak yung pananaw ng mga tao, unti-unting lumalawak yung pagkakaintindi or pag-iintindi ng mga tao pagdating po sa musika. It also has the text of often reflected themes of what? Devotion, sin, redemption, and the Christian faith. It allowed for more personal expression from the individual singers, giving rise to emotional depth and complexity. Now, kung i-review natin, mga kapatid, mas maganda ho, to those who are not yet enrolled dito po sa subject na to, I am encouraging all of you na mag-enroll para po mas maintindihan nyo, mga kapatid, yun pong ating discussion. Kasi ang history of church music, para siyang story. Okay po, para siyang story at talagang mai-enlighten ka pag nasimulan mo sa pinakauna. Okay, so andyan po, mga kapatid, si Pastor Rod. You can chat him later if you really want to enroll this subject. Okay, so ayan, it allowed for more personal expression from the individual singers. Itong sentence na to or itong emphasis na to, ngayon lang to na brought up or na brought out, mga kapatid. Kasi sa mga other periods, walang personal expression from the individual singers. Pero dito na-allow na. It allowed for more personal expression from the individual singers, giving rise to emotional depth and complexity. Okay, so andito po yun pong link where you can watch ano ba ang tunog ng kantata. Okay po? Now, sino naman ang mayroon pong influence dito? Of course, si Johann Sebastian Bach. Okay? Sino po ang familiar dito kay Johann? Yan, si Bach's cantatas including Wachet auf Ruft ons die Stimme and Jesu der Domain Ziel. I'm not sure of my pronunciations, mga kapatid. Patawarin niyo po ako kung medyo namali po ako ng pronunciations. But you can search these cantatas of Bach's, mga kapatid, doon po sa YouTube. And these cantatas, composed by Johann, are considered masterpieces of the Baroque period. So his cantatas were composed for church services and display his ability to combine theological depth with intricate musical structure. So ayan na, makikita na talaga natin mga kapatid yung development na ng music. Okay? Sophisticated, extensive, intricate, yan. Yun po yung mga keywords natin pagdating sa kapag sinasabi nating development ng music. Next naman, si Judith Rich Vox Tehude. Okay? A predecessor to Bach. After ni Bach, si Jodietrich naman po mga kapatid ang sumunod. At meron siyang cantatas and organ works were highly influential in the development of Lutheran church music during the Baroque period. Okay, number 3. Yan na, the rise of instrumental music in the church. The Baroque period saw a significant shift towards instrumental music in the church. Hindi na lang siya inalaw, mga kapatid. Makikita natin yung pag-rise ng paggamit ng instrument sa loob po ng church. While vocal music remained dominant, of course, in liturgical settings, instrumental music began to play an increasingly important role, especially sa mga malalaking simbahan at sa mga cathedrals. Now, the development of the organ and the orchestra led to the integration of instrumental music into church services. Like the organ, became central to Baroque liturgical music. Na kung saan noong doon sa medieval, sinasabi nila na may influence daw ang demonyo, ayan, ang evil spirit sa paggamit ng organ. Dito tanggap na, often accompanying hymns and cantatas. So the rise of instrumental music in church settings led to the creation of instrumental cantatas, concerto grosso, and church sonatas. Okay, let's go to its characteristics. The organ was the most prominent instrument used in the church, with compositions increasingly involving virtuosic performances. The concerto grosso became a popular form involving a small group of soloists, ayan, contrasted with the larger orchestra. So makikita natin, mga kapatid, sa upper part, yung operatic way of singing. Okay? Kapag opera kasi talagang lahat di ba? Dito naman, sa latter part ng Baroque period, ayan, yung may emphasis talaga dito, yung expression ng mga vocal solos And these works were often written for church services. Ornamentation and virtuosic display were key features of Baroque instrumental music, reflecting the era's aesthetic of grandeur and drama. Okay po? So ayan, paki-screenshot na lang po ito mga kapatid, itong link na to. Okay? So ang key influencer dito mga kapatid is of course si Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, and his organ preludes and fugues set a standard for Baroque organ music. Next is si Antonio Vivaldi, known for his concertos, including the famous The Four Seasons. Vivaldi wrote numerous works for church and sacred settings, demonstrating the growing prominence of instrumental music. So kapag tatanungin kayo mga kapatid, kailan na-allow, okay, or inallow, kailan nag-rise ang instrumental music sa panahon po ng Baroque period? Sino pa? Si George Frederick Handel. His organs, concertos, and other instrumental works helped to popularize instrumental music within the sacred tradition. Next, the counter, Reformation and church music. Ito na ho, mga kapatid, yung binabanggit natin kanina. So in the context, the Catholic Church is in response to the Protestant Reformation. Of course, we all know it was initiated by Martin Luther, and the Catholic Church initiated the Counter-Reformation, which sought to reform certain aspects of church life and reaffirm Catholic doctrine. So music played a significant role in this movement. Yung movement po na sinimulan ng Catholic Church, which is the Counter-Reformation na tinatawag, as the Church sought to inspire devotion and reaffirm its power. So the Counter-Reformation emphasized clarity of text in sacred music, seeking to ensure that worshipers could clearly understand the liturgical words. Composers began to write more syllabically or one note per syllable in sacred compositions. Kasi kung titignan natin, kung babalikin natin yung discussion natin sa Renaissance, mas nangibabaw ang mga kanta from the Protestant Reformation. Makikita ho natin yon mga kapatid sa ating discussion. Kaya dito, sa Baroque mga kapatid, gumawa ng movement ang Catholic Church, which is the Counter-Reformation. Okay? Of course, ang key influencer dito is the Council of Trent. The council addressed the role of music in worship, calling for mas simple, mas clear musical settings that would enhance the liturgy without distracting from the sacred message. So parang napansin nila, parang masyado atang nangingibabaw yung musicality nung kanta kesa doon sa sacredness nung kanta o ng tunog. So, ang ginawa nila mga kapatid, the use of polyphony, of course, was not rejected, but composers were encouraged to keep the text intelligible. Mas nabibigyan dapat ng emphasis yung text kesa daw sa musicality ng kanta. Okay? Another is si Palestrina, particularly his Missa Papa Marcelli, became the model for church music after the Council of Trent. So his work is noted for its clarity and beauty, maintaining the richness of polyphony, yan na, while respecting the council's call for textual clarity. Okay, I hope you're following me, mga kapatid. Next, let's go to the musical innovations and the end of the Baroque period. The later years of the Baroque period saw the rise of more complex harmonic structures and the transition toward the classical period in music. Ang mga composers dito, mga kapatid, began to shift away. Okay, take note of that, of those words. Composers here in Baroque period, before the end, shift away from the extravagant ornamentation and dense textures of Baroque music, moving toward simpler, more balanced structures that would characterize yung susunod nating pag-uusapan, mga kapatid, which is the classical style. So while sacred music continued to evolve, the Baroque period set the foundation for the developments in music that would follow. So, yan po ang Baroque period, mga kapatid. Ayan. So let's move on to the next, mga kapatid, na atin pong pag-uusapan, which is the classical period. Ayan. Wait lang po ha. Ayan. So, sino po ang nakakasunod, mga kapatid? Ayan. Okay, so nakikita nyo na ba, mga kapatid, ang ating screen? Ayan, please say yes. Yes po, if you, ayan, alright, sige. So let's continue. Andito na po tayo sa classical period. Mga kapatid, pwede ba nating i-comment sa ating message box, classical period. Ayan. Classical period. Okay. The classical period in music was characterized by a return to simplicity and balance after the complexity and ornamentation of the Baroque era. So again, sa Baroque era, mga kapatid, we have the words or the terms, merong dramatic changes, at very dramatic yung expression. We have the word sophisticated. We have the word extensive expression. While dito naman, pagdating ng classical period, yung extensive naging simple. Yung complex naging simple. So this era, mga kapatid, saw a focus on clarity, form, and emotional restraint, and church music was no exception. So while many of the great composers of the classical period were involved in both sacred and secular music. The period's religious compositions emphasize, ano daw po mga kapatid? Please type the word elegance. Pakitype naman po mga kapatid yung salitang elegance. And then structure. And then accessibility. Ayan, patingin po ako mga kapatids. Alright, tingnan natin. Ayan. Elegance, structure, accessibility. Okay, let's go. Number 1, the rise of the mass and the symphony in sacred music. Bago to Okay, bago yung salitang symphony dito mga kapatid. So the mass continued to be one of the most important forms of sacred music during the classical period. Okay, can you excuse me for a while, mga kapatid? Excuse me for a while. Okay, sige po. Thank you. At dito, mga kapatid, makikita natin composers like Mozart and Haydn wrote some of the most famous masses, with these works often incorporating choral, orchestral, and of course, may solo parts pa rin. The symphonic form also began to gain prominence in the church, with large-scale choral and orchestral works being performed in the liturgy. So, nakikita natin dito mga kapatid na church music during this period often moved toward greater accessibility and a more homophonic texture. Ibig sabihin, clear melody with accompaniment, making it more relatable to a broader audience. Ito siguro mga kapatid yung dahilan kung bakit pinasimple nila dito po sa period na to. Kasi nga sa Baroque period, masyadong extensive, masyadong mabigat sa damdamin. Kaya sabi nila, gawin nating simple para makarelate naman ang mga tao. Para makakanta rin naman sila. Maaring yun, mga kapatid, ang pinopoint out ng classical period. So ano ang characteristics, mga kapatid? The music was characterized by a balanced and clear structure, typically in sonata form. Greater emphasis on melodic simplicity and harmonic clarity, reflecting Enlightenment values of order and reason. Church music was often less elaborate than Baroque works, but more refined and elegant. Dito po mga kapatid, kapag sinabi nating sonata form or yung sonata allegro form, ito po ay fundamental musical structure. And of course, naging popular po siya since in this era that organizes a movement into 3 main sections. Ano yon? Exposition, development, and recapitulation. So it presents contrasting musical ideas. Kapag sinabi natin musical ideas, mga kapatid, nandito yung themes in different keys. That's the word exposition. And explores and dramatizes them. Yung musical ideas, yung themes, and that is what we call the development, and then resolves the conflict by restating both themes in the home key, creating a narrative of tension and release. Ang mga influencers naman dito mga kapatid is si, of course, nabanggit na kanina yung kanyang apelyido, si Joseph Haydn. Haydn composed several major sacred works, including his Missa in Angustis and Missa Solemnis. His music was marked by an accessible style, making the sacred music both beautiful and comprehensible to the wider church community. Next is si Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Alam ko po mga kapatid, napaka-familiar tayo pagdating kay Mozart. Mozart's Requiem and Great Mass in C minor are iconic works and works of sacred music, blending emotional depth with the classical style. So his masses, including Missa Brevis, were frequently performed in the churches. Number 2, mga kapatid, which is the influence of the Enlightenment on sacred music. The key word of our first point is the word symphony. Here, mga kapatid, we will be tackling the influence of what is our keyword, the word enlightenment on sacred music. So the Enlightenment, with its emphasis on reason, order, and the questioning of authority, also had an impact on church music. Ano daw po yung emphasis, mga kapatid? Reason, order, and the questioning of authority. Music became more focused on clarity and accessibility for the congregation. Ibig sabihin, mas nakaka-relate sila, mas naiintindihan nila, madali nilang nasusundan yung kanta, rejecting some of the complexity and ornamentation of the Baroque period. Church music composers were what? Influenced by the ideas of simplicity, balance, and emotionally restrained expressions. Siguro mga kapatid, dito po sa naisip ko lang, kasi iba't iba yung gusto ng tao eh. Yung iba may mabibigat na kanta, diba? Sino po dito mga kapatid yung gusto ng peaceful lang na kanta? Yung simple lang na kanta, okay? Pag maingay na, naiingayan na. I mean, pag masyado ng madami nangyayari sa kanta, naiingayan ka na. Pamikita natin, siguro mas simple, no? Mas simple yung mga tao dito sa classical period, mga kapatid. The focus was on creating works that were easily understood with clear text delivery and melody. So composers began to incorporate simpler forms and more direct emotional content into their sacred works, moving away from the elaborate use of polyphony that had characterized the Baroque era. Ano naman mga kapatid ang characteristics nito? Music was more melodic, with more emphasis on the text. Yan po yung sinabi ko kanina, mga kapatid, allowing what? Worshippers to more easily connect with the message. Harmonic clarity was central to the music, reflecting Enlightenment ideals of rationality and simplicity. So the style was more reserved emotionally than Baroque works with less ornamentation, but still plenty of emotional depth. I hope you're following. So the key influencer here, again, is our friends Joseph Haydn and Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. Haydn's church music, especially his masses, reflected the Enlightenment ideals of clarity and simplicity, emphasizing direct emotional expression without excess. Si Mozart naman, mga kapatid, his sacred works were emotionally expressive but maintained the classical ideals of balance and clarity. Okay po, his Ave Verum Corpus is a prime example of his ability to blend classical elegance with sacred reverence. Yun pong mga kanta, yung mga title ng mga na-compose nila mga kapatid, you can search it on YouTube. Okay, and then try to listen to differentiate yung pong mga klase ng music para mas ma-feel natin yung mga tao at ma-feel natin yung mga composers sa mga period na ito, mga kapatid. I've decided not to present na lang po sa inyo mga kapatid because of course baka aabutin po tayo hanggang madaling araw. Ayan. So, yon. Let's continue to number 3. Church music and the development of the oratorio. While the oratorio continued to be more important during the classical period, it underwent changes, nagbago in both structure and style. Mga kapatid. The emphasis shifted to more streamlined as orchestral and choral arrangement. Composers sought to simplify the dramatic elements in favor of more straightforward musical expression and religious contemplation. So Handel's influence on the genre was still felt, with composers continuing to produce oratorios but focusing more emotional expression rather than the dramatic staging. Sa nabanggit yung Handel, mga kapatid? Sa Baroque, ba? Okay. Its characteristics are the oratorio became more symphonic in its structure, moving away from the complex arrangements of earlier periods and focusing more on thematic development and emotional clarity. So the color writing was often simpler but more direct, making it more accessible to audience. Okay? Please take note of those words na malinit pong nagagamit, mga kapatid. Okay, again, ang influencers ulit, mga kapatid, was Joseph Haydn and si Mozart. All right? Number 4, the decline of the church cantata in the classical period. So the church cantata, which had been prominent in the Baroque period, began to decline as composers turned more toward larger choral works such as the Mass or Oratorio. So, although sila Bach at saka Buxtehude, mga kapatid, if I'm correct with the pronunciation of his name, itong po mga composers na to, mga kapatid, had established the cantata as a powerful form of sacred music by the classical period. It was no longer as central to the liturgical life of the church, unlike sa mga previous periods po, mga kapatid. Instead, composers turned their attention to larger, more unified forms that combine choral, orchestral, and solo voices. The cantata, when still written, had fewer movements than its Baroque predecessors, focusing more on symphonic or oratorical principles. It was more integrated into liturgical services, but its shorter structure and greater emphasis on orchestration reflected the classical style's preference for longer, more developed works. Makikita natin dito, mga kapatid, yung influence ni Johann. Though his cantatas were predominantly written in the Baroque period, ibig sabihin, buhay pa siya dito, mga kapatid, of his sacred works, such as Cantata 140, bridge the gap into classical forms by incorporating clearer structures and melodies. Okay, so the shift toward the classical mass and its simplification. Okay, do not forget the word simplicity, accessibility. All right. The mass became more streamlined during the classical period, reflecting the period's preference for clarity and simplicity. So the ornate elements of the Baroque mass were largely removed, leaving a more direct, expressive form of worship music. So na-remove na siya, nawala na. The Kyrie, Gloria, Credo, Sanctus, and Agnus Dei remained central. But, may but dito, composers began to place greater emphasis on thematic development within these movements. So the mass was composed using simpler harmonic structures and melodic lines that could be easily followed by the congregation. Ayan. Siguro na nakaka-relate kayo dito mga kapatid. Sa panahon po natin, i-relate lang natin ngayon, no? Lalo na po yung mga adult sa church natin, 'di ba? Kapag hindi sila nakakasabay sa kanta, parang hindi sila masyadong ginaganahan, 'di ba? Kaya siguro yun din ang pinaka-concern nila dito, mga kapatid, para ang congregation can easily follow the singing of church music. Orchestration became lighter and more transparent with more emphasis on melody and harmony rather than complexity. Again, ang key influencers natin dito ay gawa ulit ni Mozart and then ni Haydn, mga kapatid. Okay. So, ayan. Ayan. So, nakakasunod pa ba kayo, mga kapatid? Sino po ang nakakasunod pa? Andyan pa po ba kayo? Praise the Lord. Okay, kamusta po ang lahat? Alright, sige, tuloy-tuloy na po tayo mga kapatid. Okay, sige. Andyan po ba, Pastor Rod?
Hello po.
Pastor, pwede po akong pa-play nung example po ng classical period na music.
Okay po. I-open ko lang yung sa sinend niyo sa akin.
Sige po, Pas. Thank you so much po. Ayan. So, while we are, ang tawag nito, habang ninanamnam natin mga kapatid, yung ating mga information.
Romantic classical.
Yes po, Pastor. Classical po. Ayan. So, habang pinapakinggan natin mga kapatid, okay, sige. So, while we are waiting, i-prepare ko po yung aking next na slide.
Stop sharing nga po.
Sige po, Pas. Oops. Stop share. Okay. Ayan. Sino po ang nakakasunod? Mga kapatid, ayos lang. Ayos pa rin po ba kayo dyan? Ayan. Praise the Lord. Yes, Brother Jesse Galamdam. Thank you.
Sa ating live stream, paki-search na lang po at sa atin pong Pastor's Notebook ay mare-restrict yung ating page kaya nakamute po itong YouTube natin. Naririnig po ba?
Medyo mahina, Pas.
Sige, tit po.
Ayan, so pakinggan lang po natin mga kapatid, yung klase ng music. Ah, parang romantic ko ata yung inyong na pindot.
Po,
Romantic ko ata yung napindot.
romantic ba ito? Sorry. Ano po bang classical?
Ibabam ko po, please.
Wait lang po
Ayan, ito.
Sacred classical?
Yes po, Pas.
When you have the perfect response in your head, but your fingers just can't keep up. We've all been there.
That's muna.
Typing
Ayan, narinig niyo po ba? Or medyo mahina po? Ayan, so while you are listening, napakasimple lang ho ng music.